Check, check. 1, 2, check 1, 2. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another improved guitar video. My name is John, and hey, I'm grateful that you decided to click on this video. I hope we do not disappoint. Today, I'm going to be going over the E major chord on the guitar, the E chord. So yeah, let's get to it. Before we get started, real quick, I'm trying to drive this home to anyone who's watching our videos is get your guitar in tune. If you are not in tune, push pause right now, tune your guitar up, and push play again, so we can all start in the same tune, so we'll get all the sounds, we'll all sound the same, and that's good. So anytime before you pick up your guitar, or not before you pick it up, right when you pick up your guitar, go ahead and give it a quick tune, with an app or with a tuner or whatever you have available. If you have none of those, here's a link to a video, how to tune your guitar without a tuner. And that's me walking you through what to do when you don't have a tuner and how to get your guitar sounding the way you want it. So go ahead and hit that and then come on back. All right, cool. So now we will put up our E chord. I never get this right where it's going. I'm going to guess right here. This is my guess. I don't exactly know how much of the screen is showing, but I bet it's here. If it's here, you owe me a like, maybe even a subscribe, because I never get it right. So right here. So here's our E chord, and one of the first things I like to look at on one of these chord charts is how many fingers are we going to be using on our chord hand. And on this particular chord, the E chord, we are going to be using 3 fingers. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to be using our number 1 finger, our index finger, our number 2 finger, our middle finger, and our number 3 finger, our ring finger. And the next thing I draw your attention to is just below the big giant E. There is 2 lines going across, and above those we got good news. This chord, we're playing all of the strings. So we're going to play our E, A, D, G, B, and E. All of those chords are going to be strummed, so I personally love that. Then I don't have to worry about which chords or which strings to not strum, because it's a little bit more difficult. So this one, we got all of them. And so if you notice the little O's on the chord chart, that is the open strings. It means we play them and we do not put any fingers on those strings. So our E string, our low E right here, is going to be open, sounding like this. And then our B string right down here is going to be open, sounding like that. And then our high E string down here is going to be open, sounding like this. 3 open strings. Awesome. I love that. So let's get to it. We're going to start with our first finger here. And go ahead and check out the chord chart and see if you can figure out where that is going to go. If you're not confident in how to read these chord charts, here's a video here, bam, on how to read chord charts. And it's just a semi-quick walkthrough. I don't know, I guess it's more of an in-depth walkthrough on what everything on a chord chart means, and the goal of that video is to get you to see any chord chart and be able to find that chord. So you can check that out if you need to. If not, let's get our first finger, and it looks like it's going to be on the 1st fret, so fret number 1, and on our 3rd string from the bottom, so 1, 2, 3. It's going to go right there, and that is going to sound like this. All right, now let's look for our number 2. Our number 2, let's remember, is the middle finger here, and that is going to go on our 2nd fret, so 1, 2, your 2nd fret, and it's going to go on your 5th string from the bottom, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to right here on our A string, just like that is what it should look like, and that one should sound like this. Good. Hopefully you're there. If at any time I'm going too fast, just hit pause and go ahead and catch up to wherever we are. You can even rewind a little if you need to. and then hit play again when you're there. So next, let's get our third finger, our ring finger. That's going to go on the 2nd fret, 1, 2, and that's going to go on the 4th string from the bottom, so we can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here, just underneath your 2nd finger, right there. And that one should sound like this. And with that, we are ready to strum our E chord. So let's strum it and see what it should sound like. Should sound something like this. I love the way the E chord sounds. It's so full because we got this low E ringing out, we got the high E ringing out, and then we got all the other strings. Such a full open chord. I love it. So that is our E chord. Some things to keep in mind when you're learning this chord is finger placement. And I'm trying to stress this kind of every chord. Our finger placement is very important for multiple reasons. So our fingers that start with our first finger, couple sounds you could be getting are this. That means you probably need to press down harder. Do that. Or you could be getting this. That buzz. Again, that buzz means we are way too close to this back fret, and we want to be all the way up as close to this fret as we can, because that's going to sound much better, and it's going to require a lot less pressure, so it'll save our fingertips some pain as well. All right. So when it's just that string being plucked, it's pretty easy to make it ring out. So let's go ahead and add our 2nd finger here. This finger, the only trouble this one can really cause, or I guess it can cause 2 things, is if we're playing with the pad of our finger instead of the tip, we could be touching this high or the low E string up here, which means when we play it, it could sound buzzy or muting. That just means we need more fingertip, less pad of the finger. And again, if this one's buzzing, if this A string is buzzing, we're probably not close enough to the 2nd fret right here. And then if your D string, the one below it, that finger 1 is on right here, it can come out with a couple different noises here. Oh wait, strike that. The D string, this finger has the potential to be hitting this D string as well. So we'll just kind of keep an eye out for that when we put our next finger down. So let's put our 3rd finger down on the D string. You'll notice that it's kind of like the A chord, that our fingers are going to be bunched up pretty close together. So we're going to have to create some space. And what I do is I put my 3rd finger as close to the 2nd fret as I can. And then my 2nd finger I make to as close to this finger as I can, so we're not too far away from that. So that should sound like this. And one of the troubles you might have for this one is this 3rd finger might be hitting the string below it, your G string, where your 1st finger is, so where this finger is. And if that's the case, you might be, having your elbow out like this, so tuck your elbow in, kind of round your hand out a little bit, and pluck that one, pluck those 2, and just kind of play with your finger position until you can get them all ringing out. And another thing that we need to think about for this chord is what is going on with your thumb. Where is your thumb placement? Because we're going to be putting some decent pressure on this. We're building up the muscle here for squeezing for down the road when we start playing, bar chords. This requires more strength. So in general, we want our thumb behind our fingers, kind of in an upward position, but your anatomy might dictate how your thumb placement is. Some guys can have their thumbs kind of up and over. My hands are too small, so that's not my problem. Some people have their thumb pointing this way a little more, some straight up and down, some even backwards a little bit. It just depends on the way your hand is made, really, I guess. So go ahead and kind of mess around with that and see where the strength in your hand is, and we'll kind of go from there. As you're learning more chords, you'll start figuring out what works for your hand and which way to do things. So now that we got that worked out, we go ahead and strum it. Try to get it to ring out, and after you strum it, we can go ahead and pick each individual string, either with a guitar pick or your thumb. I'm going to use my thumb today because that's what I have. One at a time to make sure everything's sounding correct. That's what we're going for here. And I always recommend that we strum. Go ahead and take your hand off. Shake it out. Take a break. I always recommend that you strum or you pluck each string individually, because that's going to help you really diagnose where the problem areas are. And from there, so say you have, your E string sounding weird, then you can kind of look at, okay, what's going on here? And like, oh, this finger's not right. It's up a little. I need to play it more on my fingertip. So you got that one, okay. The next one sounds okay. The third one sounding like this. You can look, what's going on there? Okay, maybe I'm not pressing hard enough. And press hard, get it all ringing out. Oh, that one's not sounding right. And you can kind of look. So it's really a diagnostic tool to help you get the chord dialed in to sounding clear and crisp. All right, guys. Well, that is our E chord. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you found this helpful. If you like the content we're making, please let us know. If you got any comments or concerns or questions, shoot them in the comments, and I will do my absolute best to get back to you to help you keep improving on your guitar playing abilities. Keep at it, guys. You can do this. It's hard, but perseverance is key. All right. Have an awesome day, guys. Bye-bye.